Classic movie fans, Rick Nineg here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the famous Christmas movie, It's a Wonderful Life. It's regarded by some as one of the best Christmas movies of all time. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you seen it? What is your favorite part of the movie? I love to read all of your thoughts down below in the comments. Let's get right to it. There is so much to talk about this movie in terms of really truly mind-blowing things that happen while filming this movie. I think all of you are going to absolutely love it. Let's begin with this one. Let's begin with the beloved Uncle Billy from this movie. In one scene, he went a little bit out of control. He was a bit drunk. Okay, no, let's say a lot drunk. And he leaves the Bailey home. And you can hear that as he's walking off the screen, he stumbles into some trash cans on the sidewalk. Well, that's what we assume. We don't actually see it. We hear a sound of effect of some loud crashing. Now, in fact, what actually happened while they were filming this offset, it was a crew member who dropped a large tray of props right after Thomas Mitchell, the actor, went off the screen. Now, Jimmy Stewart began laughing when he noticed what actually happened, but the actor Mitchell quickly improvised the line, "I'm all right, I'm okay." Now, the director Frank Capra decided to use this take in the final movie and gave the stagehand who actually dropped all that large tray of props an extra $10, remember $10 at that time, a bit of a bonus for improving the sound of the movie. Now, if that isn't absolutely the most amazing thing, I don't know what else is. Let's talk a little bit about Donna Reed. Now, there's a scene that required her to throw a rock through the window of this home, this large mansion. Now, the director, Frank Capra, hired a marksman, a person who was really good at shooting things, and he was hired to shoot a window out on cue. To everyone, when they yelled action, Reed broke the window by herself. She played baseball in high school, which they didn't realize at the time, and she had a really strong throwing arm. So they really didn't even need the marksman at all. That's pretty cool. Now, some people may not know that Jimmy Stewart was actually a veteran of World War II. Now, he was a bit nervous about the scene where he had the phone kiss. Why? Well, because it was his first on-screen kiss since his return to Hollywood after the war. Now, under the watchful eye of Frank Capra, this scene was filmed in only one unrehearsed take. Yeah, that's right, one take, which is really rare. I mean, they sometimes have dozens and dozens of takes for different scenes, let alone doing it in one scene. And it works so well that they used that part of the embrace and they cut it because it was too passionate to pass for censors. So the actors did really well with their chemistry and it looked really well on screen, but they had to cut part of it because it went on for too long. Now, the film has so many iconic scenes, including the one where the gym floor opens up in the middle to reveal the swimming pool underneath. Now, this was filmed at a real location, one that I've actually visited, Beverly Hills High School in Beverly Hills, California. It's real and it's still in regular use. It's still standing to this day, which is pretty amazing to think that students actually go to that school with that type gymnasium and that floor. Now, moving on to a little bit of filmmaking in regards to how they make snow. This is really interesting because films made prior to this movie, they used cornflakes, yeah, the ones that you find in cereal boxes, and they were painted white for the falling snow. Now, if you think about it, cornflakes are hard, and when they fall on the ground, especially on asphalt or on concrete, it's loud, especially so much of it. And so usually dialogue would have to be added and dubbed later on. Now, the director Capra wanted to record the sound live without adding any dubbing, so they used a different type of snow. They actually just developed it for this film. It's called foamite. It's actually a firefighting chemical and mixed with water and soap as well. Now, this mixture, they pumped it at high pressure through a wind machine to create the silent falling snow. They used about 6,000 gallons of this new snow for this film, which is pretty mind-blowing. They even won an award for how well the snow effect looked. Now, if you have a very sharp and keen eye, if you look at these images, you will see that Jimmy Stewart is actually sweating. That is real sweat. Now you may think, how come with all that snow and the cold temperatures? Well, that's actually part of the Hollywood magic. including the scene where they were on the bridge, where Clarence the Angel saves George. It was filmed on a backlot on a day where the temperatures were over 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, this is why you could see the sweat pouring down Jimmy Stewart's face, because it was super hot and they were trying to pretend like it was actually super cold. Now again, all these factoids and trivia are really interesting, but this one really stood out to me. I want to know what you think in the comments down below. Again, if you like these videos and this Christmas stuff that I'm doing, Christmas content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button. It's absolutely free to do so, and it keeps my channel alive and onward to totally promoting these classic TV shows and movies. Now, if you remember the bank run scene, well, the director rehearsed the scene between Jimmy Stewart and Ellen Corby. Now, this was done several times. Now, when Corby's character was asked how much money she needed, she was supposed to reply $17. Now, that was in the script. But just prior to this first actual take, Capra took Corby aside and told her to give Stewart an odd number. Nothing like 17, something that would just stand out to him, thinking that that would be even funnier for the scene. Now, she improvised on the spot $17.50 to Stewart. Now, he was taken off guard by her response. It was impromptu. Of course, it wasn't in the script. And impulsively, he just kissed her. And that was not in the script. So his spontaneous reply was so genuine that Capra decided to leave the scene in the final film. It's so crazy to think that this film was entirely shot during a huge heat wave in Los Angeles, California. Now, it got so hot that the director gave everyone a day off to recuperate during filming. Now, one last thing I want to remind you, everyone knows at the end the bell that rings, and then of course that means an angel got its wings. But you may ask yourself, is that the only bell that was heard throughout the course of the movie? Maybe you heard one or two more. Well, if you sit there and go through the movie and count every single bell that's heard during the course of the entire movie, you will count 42 rings. Go ahead, try it out. 42 rings are heard during the course of the film. So if Clarence, the angel, is right, 42 angels got their wings during the course of the movie, including at the film's conclusion. Thank you so much to everyone. Hopefully you will have a wonderful Merry Christmas coming up soon. More Christmas videos coming up, so don't forget to support the channel and like this video. We'll see you all next time, and don't forget, be hopeful. Thank you so much to my supporters, especially my Diamond tier patrons: Vito L, Sally N, Ricky, Kevin K, Gerard D, David D, and Citizen Kane 359. If you want your name to be heard or put on this list, make sure to check out the Patreon link in the description. Thank you so much.